So joining us now, top of the hour, 9 a.m., we have Samuele Wakasambwe. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here, Paul.
Hello. Good to see you.
Hi. Nice to see you.
You too. So Samuele's going to be talking to us about isochrone maps, in particular building not just any isochrones, but beautiful isochrones with PostGIS and QGIS. Want to take over the screen there?
Okay.
Hello.
Nice. Let me just.
There we are.
Nice. Is it showing up there?
It's showing up. I can see your whole screen. So yeah.
You see my whole screen. Okay. Okay. So I'm Samuele Wakasambwe. I work for Katoza, a technology company based in South Africa, which provides services in training, developing and maintenance of GIS software. I'm also QGIS core and the PyQGIS developer. I'm currently located in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Today I'm going to show you how you could create isochrones maps using PostGIS and QGIS. So first of all, we have to ask ourselves, what are isochrone maps? Isochrones maps are maps that shows area accessible from a certain point within a certain time threshold. That is, they provide a way that you could see all locations that are reachable within a certain time. So why do we need isochrones maps? We need isochrones maps because this enables us to do plannings, because most of times when we are sitting down and designing how and where we should put. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you have a second monitor running? Is it possible?
Second?
Do you have two monitors running? We were seeing your slideshow program, but we're not seeing the second slide. Is it possible you're presenting on one screen and Zoom is showing us the other screen?
No.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's your front page.
Yes. Can you see the next one?
I'm still seeing your front page. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Nice.
You're up and running.
Yeah. Great. So what I was saying is, isochrones maps are maps that you could depicts areas that are accessible within a certain time, and they are useful to provide insights in different areas, how you can reach certain locations from a certain point. The benefit of isochrones maps is that they provide a way of doing planning on where and how to allocate different resources in order to maximize accessibility. So what you're seeing right there is it's an isochrone map of railway in Melbourne that shows how different areas contain different time on accessing a certain point. So you can see the certain point is right here. And if you just look at at the legend here, you can see that this area here using the railway is highly accessible compared to areas that are out or very far away from this point. Another example is what you're looking right now is the map that shows travel time to Manchester Airport using public transport. You could also easily see that if you are here at this location here, it's very easy for you to go and access the Manchester Airport compared if you're at this location. So this is the type of information that the isochrones maps are good at. Like the user could at an instance determine which areas or which locations are reachable from a certain point. This is just another example where it's a bit different from the two examples, but this one shows that these different locations in the map can be easily accessed using a certain type of transport. So you can see the legend here that the areas with the green color, that means easily accessible using the bike from this point. And the areas with red and orange color, that means they're easily accessible using the transport by transit. So how do we make these isochrones maps? Currently, there's a number of GIS desktop softwares that are possible. Oh, just to notify, can you still hear me?
Yep, you're still coming through strong.
Okay, thanks. I just don't want to finish my presentation and nobody's hearing my presentation. Yeah, so there's a number of GIS desktops software that you can use. You can use QGIS, you can use ArcGIS, and there is also a number of online services that's possible to use to create isochrones maps. Now I'm going to introduce you to the plugin itself called Isochrones. So it's a QGIS plugin that I developed back in 2016, and the first version was released on the August of 2017. So back in the day, I remember I was working on a certain project where we contain a lot of network data, and we wanted to create isochrones. But when we started looking at the options, most of the options required us to pay for the service. And also, I think at that time, QGIS didn't have support for this, core support for this. And it was pretty hard for us to come up with the way that could automate the outcome. So I sat down and then I wrote this plugin that could help other people who could have met the same situation. So the target was to have a plugin that enables QGIS users and other users to create isochrones maps without a need to pay for any service. So yeah, so I launched this plugin on August of 9, 2017. It has so far reached around 20K downloads. Currently, the plugin is available on the QGIS official public repository for plugins. Anyone can open QGIS and then go to the QGIS plugin manager and download it and install it. There's other ways that you could install the plugin, but we do recommend, I do recommend to use the official public repository. Due to that, you could download it from source, but it might not be that stable. You could also download it from a custom plugin repository, but also it doesn't contain it only contains the latest changes, which might not be stable. So how does the plugin works? So the plugins requires you to have two set of data. You need to have the catchment, which are the services, and also you need to have your network data. I'll just shift and show you how you could use this on QGIS. I'll just open my QGIS here. So this is the sample data that I will use to show you how you could create isochrones maps inside QGIS using this plugin. And what you need is you need a network for the areas that you need to create isochrone. And also you need the point layer that will contain the point that you want to create isochrones from. For example, for me, I have hospitals. This is my my city, Dar es Salaam. I just can show you where this is located. If you can see, this is Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. This is where I'll be demoing how to use the plugin. So these are hospital facilities that I have queried them from OpenStreetMap. There are 4 of them. There's these big ones, small ones, and there's another one here. And also this is the load network. If you look at the network, you can see that it contains the values for the loads, and also it contains a column called cost, which is the one that's going to be used by the plugin to calculate the number of time you take from one point to another. So after this, you need to set up a a PostGIS database, and then load this data inside that database. For that step, I have already done. It's right here. Let me connect. Edit connection. Let me test. Okay, the connection was successful. I just need to refresh that. You can see that in the database, I already have hospitals and I already have loads. So after that, you just need to go to the plugins, manage and install, search for Isochrones. It's the plugin manager, and then inside there you could find the Isochrone plugin, and then you could install it. I've already installed it. That's why you see the button is called uninstall, and then you will see an icon with of this type showing up on the toolbar, and also you have it on the database menu. So once you open it, you see that it asks for the database where your data resides, and the username, the password. These are just credentials required to connect to the database. And then it asks for the network table that you have just imported in the PostGIS. It also asks for the catchment table, the one that contains the facility that you wanna calculate time from. And then it asks you the drive time that you wanna create from. Another option, this is how you wanna distribute the final isochrones. And then it asks you whether you want to style your map. So because I've used this plugin a couple of times, all this information is already filled in. The ID column is the column for that's used by the network, and this is the geometry column. Same for the catchment information. So for the first time, I'll just disable this, and then I'll click OK. Then it will do the calculations, and then once it finishes, it will load up an isochrones layer. So this is basically a layer for points on the network, layer, and these are essentially the start and the end of the loads. And each of these point contain a value. That's a time that it will take it to go to the closest facility, closest hospital. So if you just open inside here the attribute, you could see that each point contain minutes. So let's say this point number 1, it will take itself for 5 minutes to go to the closest hospital. So this is enough for any, what should I say, any user to create isochrones from, because all you need from now on is just the styling and to make sure that the map is like a normal user or a lay user could understand. The plugin also can also create that for you if you don't want to do your custom styling by just enabling this this option here. So by clicking OK, that means the plugin will calculate the isochrones, and then it will style it due to the default style that comes with the plugin. So now you can see the isochrones. So quickly, what this shows is that these areas is easier for them to go to the hospitals compared to these areas which have red. So this green means is a lot easier for them to go and get some social, get access. It's easier for them to access the facility that we have passed for them. Yeah, let me just go back to the slides. Yeah, for some reason, this takes a while. But while waiting for that, I think I need to stop. Is there a way I can stop? Yeah, just started the start. Yeah. So that's how the plugin works. And this is one of the outputs that it's a similar, I think it's a similar hospitals facilities that used, but different setups on the drive times and the network cost setup, where it shows the accessibility of those facilities, these two facilities. Currently, having a limitation on the number of network file. The plugin in PostGIS currently struggles if you give it more than 1 million network edges. Let's say you wanna create isochrones for the whole of Europe airports or something, so basically this plugin was developed on my free time, and I didn't have much time to focus on how to go about this solution. But if somehow we get some funds for that, or someone wants to pay for that time, I'll be more than happy to sit down and find ways to solve that. There are other alternatives that are QGIS based. So when I was writing this plugin at the first time, there was no way that you could create isochrones inside QGIS. So it was the first plugin that provided a free way of creating isochrones inside QGIS. But right now in QGIS, there are some algorithms that users can use. They don't provide isochrones direct like the way the isochrones plugins do. Instead, they can give you pieces which you can collect and create an isochrone map. For example, there's a network analysis algorithm that you can use to calculate the shortest path. And there's also an algorithm that you can use to calculate time for a single surface area. There are also other plugins. You can see there's a travel time plugin and there's a QNet plugin that people can use. Yeah. So for this isochrone plugin, all you need is PostGIS and QGIS. One of the things that I usually tell people is that the plugin is very useful for the communities that don't have or they can't afford to use expensive applications or expensive software to create isochrones. So the plugin provides a way and gives them an ability to do planning. Yeah. So the plugin is released on GPL. It's available on GitHub. The repository is under Samuel Isochrones. If you have any issue using it, you can open it on the GitHub issues. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Yeah, it's really cool to see. I've got one question from Bill Hurwitz. It looks like the road data were from OSM. What method was used to make them routable? Vertex and edge IDs and impedance.
Yeah, so if you can see my screen,
Yep.
I didn't go into deep for that, but if you go to the plugin repository, you could see that you need to prepare the network in order for the PostGIS and PG routing to be able to work on that. So there's a link for that if you just go to the plugin repository. Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
I have a geography question for you. The difference in access between one side of the city and the other side of the city seem pretty stark. Is there like a river down the middle that we're not seeing because it's just a road network? What's in the middle?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So right here there's a river.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a river, but it's passing alongside this way. Let me see if I could just open up.
So why are all the hospitals on one side of the river?
Yeah, maybe they didn't use this tool when planning.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let me load. Where is it? XYZ here. OpenStreetMap. Yeah. Let me just load this one for you. You can see that there's river right here. Yeah, that goes to the Tanzania, to the
estuary.
Indian Ocean. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have any more questions on the chat? No. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Nice work. And I guess, oh, here we go. We'll hand this over. We got a poll coming up that Elizabeth is bringing out.
Okay.
Roll. Everyone can fill that out.
My role is.
No. So this is the attendee role. This is she's putting a poll out to all the attendees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Geospatial development.
And yeah, if you would unshare your screen, we'll take a little break. I'm going to stand up and stretch my poor little legs for a little while, for 5 minutes before our next speaker comes on.
Okay. Did I unshare my screen, or you can?
Yeah, you did. Thank you. You got it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks again, Samuel.